This is a follow-up video from what I did earlier in the week where I reviewed October's VWAP and its value areas and levels for USDCAD. Now that October has come to a close, this is my homework for um, USDCAD on the monthly timeline. Um, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring in the chart, the monthly chart for USDCAD. And this is what it looks like right here. So we are trading at the highs on the year. So the high for the year was put in way back when over here early in the year and in March, and now in October we have come in and put in a higher high for the year. Um, Now we are one, two, three, 4 months of higher time framing, or one time framing, I should say. What that means is each month the lows and the highs have been higher, and that's happened now for one, two, three, 4 months, or should I count it as 3 months? Either way, the trend right now over the past 4 months is to the upside. Um, but even in terms of higher time framing, but even more so, we've been moving up since really the end of 2013, or even going back to middle of 2011. We're moving up. We could see that the monthly 5, 10, and 21 EMA lines are all aligned for the upside. In October, we did the lows are right on the 5 EMA. Um, and we didn't get down to the 10 at all. The September, we did find some support off at the 10, and we haven't touched the 21 for some time. So all in all, it looks like this is got more to go. It's more of the trend is still up. Nothing has shown here that the trend is not up. You can see here we did break through um, December's uh, high from last year, and we did that in January. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next 5 months was just a retrace of that, and then from there, the next 4 months, we've come back and we've done a full retrace and we're moving further up. Now, where would this thing potentially go to? The next potential level would be around here. Which is around 116 to 117. Really, from where we are now to there, there's nothing in the way to stop us. So maybe a little bit of a slowdown at 114,720, but we'd have to watch for economic data and news to give guidelines. And the thing is the U.S. dollar is incredibly strong right now, and so we're moving up further. So that's what's happening on the monthly bar. The weekly bar shows a lot of the similar ideas. Now that the week has closed and the month is closed, I'll have a look at this here. And we had put in a high here in September, and you can see we've come out and we've tested that 3 times now. So for 3 consecutive weeks. Uh, since going above it, we're staying around it, and really it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of trading around this area here. Nothing has showed us that we were looking for a down retrace at all. In fact, what happened here was we moved up, and then we did get a little bit of retrace, and now we've come right up back for a double top, but then more because we've come above it. However, we haven't closed above the highs from back in March, but we have come above it a few times. So in the immediate weekly bars, we are higher time framing for some time now. Sorry, one time framing for some time now, I gotta get my terminologies right here. Um, so we're moving up. This was an inside bar followed by a nice move up, a retrace down, didn't go below it, uh, break up above, and continued. And we've got some hanging wicks here. Um, and we're still closing above the 5 EMA. So the trend seems to be up in USDCAD until one of these EMAs are taken out or some structure levels taken out. We will continue to look to trade to the upside, which is important to trade the levels, not the bars. Which now I'm gonna just go straight to the trying to get this video done in under 10 minutes. Uh, the do this video in under 10 minutes, but I look at these charts every single day, and that's the homework that I have to do. The charts that I brought in here, uh, yes, a conclusion of each bar is not until the end of the whole trading week on Friday, but as the week develops, I want to know in terms of the higher time frame, where are we? Like when we were down here, uh, I should know that not because I'm looking at this, I know not to take a short trade here. Why? Because I'm on the 10 EMA, which is suggesting that it should hold and move up higher. And just simple rules. I don't really trade by this because it doesn't really matter. But uh, we wouldn't be looking to trade short here until we actually break the 8 EMA. That's the 10 EMA until we actually break that 10 EMA. So we need to see a close below the 10 EMA to think, okay, I'm going to take a short on the 10 EMA. And same thing with the 5 EMA. We haven't had a close below the 5 EMA. Here we closed on it. And so when you get down to that, you're definitely not looking to take a short trades. Short trades are not present or very rewarding trading USD CAD the last little while. So continuing now with the homework that I do every day, but this one is just the end of the month to review what happened in the month of October. So we opened the month um, above September's value, and for that, we initially for part of the week we had moved down, and then we had a quick move back up, and not only was it a move back up, but it broke the highs for the month, and it's important to talk about this because when you come in here and you put in this low for the rest of the month did not um, uh, get tested again. We had a little test here, but that was just incredible support because from that we had responsive buying below the value area low here, followed by initiative buying to take us up. And again, when we came down below the value area low, we had responsive buying, which moved us up. But this time here, this bar is interesting. We'll see how it plays out next week. Um, it looks like there was some responsive selling here, or it could just be, um, some profit taking here because the bar did close um, up, and then the next bar was just, the last 4 hours of a Friday. Um, it's be important levels to watch for next week. But in terms of what didn't happen, now it's easy and it's fun and it's really just easier to look at what did happen because it's there and it's easy. But if for any reason, and I did have this thought that maybe that we were gonna come back lower, um, down. Uh, but I didn't. I had the thought, but it wasn't the only thought I had. I also had I was cognizant that we could take up to the upside. And when we had the FOMC day here, and we moved back into the value area for the month, and yes, we found some resistance on the Vwap. Um, Given all the stuff that we saw in the monthly and the weekly bars, um, I was not really thinking to take a short. However, my 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 plan for potential taking shorts would be only take a short if we had a close back below this value area, developing value area low, and we never even came. We came close to it, but we didn't even touch it. And so when you see you don't touch that and you start to move up, and you're putting in, each of these bars are 4 hours, and you're putting in higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then this is just higher low. It's lower than the previous bar, but it's higher than the bars preceding that. Um, you got to think that uh, this thing is gonna go higher, because look at that's been the trend for the past couple of months. We looked at the other charts and you saw that. So when you there was no reason to think short trades um, after we put in this low here um, at 9 o'clock Thursday. There was no reason to think a short trade off of this VWAP. Um, because we couldn't even get down to the value area low. So therefore, when you get down to just having a look at the value area low and you start to move up and you see it like that, then the destination, the target, has to be up here. And this bar here, which is the 5 a.m. bar, we most of this move happened at 8:30 when we had Canadian GDP released, and that took it right up to this area here. It didn't go past it. Went past it on the follow through on the next bar. Um, so the initial move did show that there was a little bit of slowing down on the value area high, and that's typical. I mean, you should expect the value area high to be resistance, and you should expect the value area low to be support. And we couldn't break through the support, so therefore we weren't going down. If we had come down below the support and closed below here, then targets would be down to the low from this bar here, which is a 9 a.m. bar, and then if you go below that and you get into the previous month's value area, then I would have expected this thing to come all the way down into this green box, if not lower. Now that didn't happen. In order for that to happen, I couldn't stress this enough, and I saw this, and I did get in above. Once we got above the VWAP, I did get in and trade long to the value area high, and I felt confident with that because none of this stuff happened down here. Price did not come down below here, and the momentum is to the upside. Uh, Same thing, look over here. We were not going to come down uh, and test the VWAP or the value area low in this area until we have a close inside below the value area high. And that never happened. So what happens? Initiative buying came in. And when that initiative buying came in, you should not expect this to hold. Expect it to go above, and even if it doesn't go above and close like it did, expect it to hunt the stops that would have been there, of thinking that this would be a good potential resistance area. You got to read, Nazar, the information that happened prior. So when this bar was live, all of this information, everything to the left of this bar right here, was available to me. Um, and so therefore, if that's available to me, then I have to use it to tell me that this is not going to be a resistance. Now, if this had come up and come back and close below it, then the next bar would be fair on the open to say I'm going to trade short and target back down here as a destination trade. Um, First, you'd have to see that yes, it doesn't continue. Two, it comes into the value area high and closes below that, and then you start to feel good, and then you look for it to come down. Now, how do I have an example of that? Yeah, we do have an example of that. So here, we went up here and we come down and we close inside of the value area, and we did that for 2 bars, and then we had a quick move up. But this is the overnight stuff, and this overnight, the 5 a.m. bar is an important bar, but the 1 a.m. and the 9 p.m. bar, not so uh, useful because you would think that these levels would come back and get tested. And again, on this 9 o'clock bar and all the bars after that, the way you would trade it, because you would have this information as are available to you, and you would see that we went up here and we came back and we closed inside of value. And now because we had this close inside of value here, we start to look for areas where you could use other tools. And I did use this tool here on the daily chart. Um, Let me make this bigger, and it shows there was a very thin area of volume, and I did get in on a short here because of this. Right up here, you see that this move up here, let me zoom in. It shows a lot clearer on the daily Vwap levels. But this area here was an ideal place because it was a thin volume area here. If you break through this, then you're coming all the way and you're going to put in the highs. And if it can't break through this low volume area here, then what's going to happen? You're going to move right back down. And when you see that and you see this coming into the value area high, and given all this information that you've already have, if you do want to take a long trade here and expecting this here, then your stops have to go down here. But the better trade would have been to see that all this had happened and we're going to come down here. You look for short trading opportunities, and here is an ideal one. Again, you come up here and this is your below the value area high. So when it comes up to the value area high, you think it's going to be um, resistance, and look for it to move down. And then here, I can't stress this enough. This is why you do homework and you come up with different scenarios, Nassar, because this information is all available to you. Everything to the left of this bar right here, when you see this bar happening, everything to the left of this bar is available to you, so you can tell the story and you can see it. When you see this happen, and then you can start to look for divergence on the lower timelines, and you start to see if you get divergence here, then you take the chance and you trade short right here with a small stop just above. Homework. When I look at this video and I think about all the things I just said. It's hindsight analysis, and that hindsight analysis is what homework is. Now if this was really a strong move down, it should have come quicker than it did, and it should have gone deeper. So therefore, when you see all of this being grind out, um, and you're not really getting anywhere, this is what I always say: trade your levels. Don't trade the individual bars. So when you see all of this happening, you trade your levels, and the levels would have been, well, this thing's really not going to go further down until I break through this green box. Now this video is going on a lot longer than I wanted to, but this is the point that I'm trying to make. It takes time. And why I want to make these videos is to talk through these scenarios like this so that I'm prepared when it's happening live, and I could come up with 2 or 3 different hypotheses. And when you see one get violated and it doesn't hold, then you look for the other. So right now, this is the end of the month, and so what's going to happen here is we are going to open below value. Uh, the, we're going to open right on the value area high of October, and so what I should look for is potentially, because you might see a little bit of retrace, and you could, I won't do it here, but you could draw Fibonacci's on the lower timeline and know that you might get a little bit of retrace. And so therefore, if it's coming down, it doesn't mean get in and trade short. It means look for the pullback and get in and taking it back up. And so you would look for levels that would be um, areas where buyers would be sitting, and then you qualify that level and you look to see how price reacts to it there. Um, Now I'm not going to bring it in right now, but I up here there was a uh, yeah, actually here I have it right here. So you can see there was the profile being built here. There's been some acceptance of price. So if we get back up here, uh, this we should get back up there because price was accepted up here, um, and we're moving higher. If I scroll this out further, you could see the value areas for the month is going up. Here's the value area way back in August, and then in September it moved up higher, and in October it moved up higher. And so I would expect that this thing to continue and build higher because the bias is to the upside. Um, and even these pullbacks from these highs here were not significant pullbacks. There's so much information on this chart, um, and what I have to do as a trader is take my time and go through it and understand it and read it. Um, so right now, from if I what I just did there was I drew a composite profile from this bar here, which was a big down bar, which really did not produce a new lower low because the lower low for the month is over here. The lowest low is there. So what happened is it did produce and it came down and it find a higher low here, and then it moved us up above that. Now we didn't close above that, but we did move above that. And you can see there's a little bit of acceptance here just from this period on, but there's more when you look at the entire month. Um, but what's happened right here is there's a nice support right there. So, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so this little, this low volume area here, which is right where we've come into, and we found a little bit of support. We would want to see price um, hold this support now to hold this low volume area, which could be a support area, for it to hold. And if it holds, what it should do is move us higher up, at least up to this level here, and look for something like that potentially. But if it doesn't hold, then what we have here, this will be the value area high, and this will be the value area low from the previous month, which is October, when we open up on the new first trading day on Monday in November. And so if we can't get, uh, if we continue to trade below the value area lows from the value area's high from October, then we would look for a price to at least come down to the Vwap level. And if it comes down to the Vwap level, it should hold and then move us back up. And if it doesn't hold, then look for it to come all the way down. Um, Now, going on the previous month, we did not get a lot of activity in the previous month. Of So in October, we did not get a lot of activity in September's value area. Um, so we'll have to continue to monitor. But the thing is this is the thing, know your level. So I know right here at this VWAP, that would be one indication of level. The value area high would be another indication of level, and the value area low is another level. So in between is would be noise but information. You would read what's happening in between. You wouldn't trade in between. You trade from the value area high to the VWAP. You would trade from the value area low to the VWAP. And if you were looking for runners, you would go from the value area high to the value area low. You'd go from the value area low to the value area high. And if you get above the value area high, then you'd want to look for quick, rapid move because that to the upside, because that would be initiative buying. Once you get above the value area high, you'd be looking for initiative buying. You'd be looking for buyers to step in and say, we still like this price and we still want to go higher. And they would be overpowering the sellers. Similarly, when you get below the value area low, you would look for quick, rapid movement because it would be initiative selling. It would be sellers saying, we still like this. We still think price is expensive, so we're going to sell it and they're going to move it down. And if we go back and we look at this, whenever we were outside of the value area, and it was always rapid. It was either rapid moving back into value or rapid moving away from value. And that's initiative buying, which was up here, and then down here, initiative selling. 2 bars, quick drop, but this is such an up market. It went up. Over here, below, initiative selling, drop, found support, absorption, move it back up. Um, Here, initiative buying. There was no retrace. Every time it came down a little bit, buyers stepped in and they kept moving it higher. Whereas over here, uh, when you had a little bit of retrace, the buyers were not present. And if they're not present, then the sellers are there and they're going to move it down. And where are they going to move it down to? Destination trading, to the opposite end. If you're going to go from value area high, chances are you're coming down to value area low. And that should be a quick, rapid move. If it's not a quick, rapid move like it was here and like it was here, then it's going to be something like this. And this is what I'm talking about. You trade levels, not bars. So each of these bars would have been difficult to hold through. But the thing is, keep your patience, keep your focus, and look, we're not coming below the value, the VWAP, and we're not getting near the value area low. So therefore, you don't look for you look for short trades because you're on the value area high, but you would manage it and say, hey, look, this is I don't need to come all the way up here and take a bigger loss. I'll take my loss just above here because this thing is moving up. And that's the thing. This is homework. Just keep doing this every day, every chance, and all the different timelines you trade and know what's happening. Now, you won't need to spend as much time like I did here on the monthly chart, Nazar, on the weekly chart, because the weekly chart is 1 bar is 5 days of trading. But you do need to know at the end of each trading day, where are you on that weekly bar? And then you need to know at the end of every 4 hour bar, where are you in relation to the monthly VWAP? And then you need to know at the end of the closing day, where are you in the monthly VWAP? And that's why I've got these little these blue triangles at the bottom of these bars. These represent the 9 a.m. bar. And it's a good measuring tool for me because the bar before that obviously is the 5 a.m. bar, and the bar after that is obviously the 1 p.m. bar. Those 3 bars really can give you insight into the direction of the market and which way traders, market makers are holding positions. Are they buying it up at 9 o'clock, or are they selling it at 9 o'clock? Are they buying it up at 5 o'clock, or are they selling it up? And then what do they do after they buy it up or sell it up between the 5 a.m. and the 9 a.m. bar? And that's usually played out in the 1 p.m. bar. And then the other bars, the overnight bars, they give you levels of retrace, Uh, those would be nice retrace. And if you see those bars taken off, like here, this was the 1 p.m. bar, 5 p.m. See that? No continuation after that. A lot of absorption. You come in at 5 o'clock and you put in a higher low. You come in at 9 o'clock, you test that low, you don't go below it, and boom, you take off. You get inside a value, and where do you go to? The opposite side, and it happens over and over and over and over. Anyways, I'm gonna stop it at that.